The Brothers of Liberty, here to remind you what true freedom is.
Hello and welcome to the Brothers of Liberty with the younger brother Brian, here to remind you what true liberty is and ought to be. Today's topic: a freelance journalist working for MSNBC was told to follow the secure jury bus for the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Don't know if everyone's heard this one, but a journalist, a freelancer working at the time for MSNBC, and it was found out today, actually ended up following the secure jury bus for the jurors in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And the funny part about it, or the worst part, I don't know at this point, he was told to do so by one of the booking producers. He was doing this because he was actually instructed to do so. He name dropped the booking producer Irene Bion, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, as the one who told him to do it. The name of the person, he identified himself as James J. Morrison, the freelancer who was caught by the police trailing the secure jury bus. And, of course, Judge Schroeder saw this as problematic, and so it's pretty much stated that MSNBC is no longer allowed in the courtroom. They've been banned. So, let's get into this. Let's get into what's known as intimidation tactics. Because that's what this is. The mainstream media should know better, but they don't care. It's all intimidation tactics to make the jurors feel some sort of way. Make them afraid, make them do as you want. But that is illegal, to intimidate a jury. And I'm glad that Judge Schroeder made sure MSNBC was not allowed back in that courtroom. If I could have things done my way, Irene Bion, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry, would be arrested because she instructed someone to follow a jury bus when that bus should not be followed by anyone in the journalism community or in the protesters or anyone else for that matter. The only people who should be following that bus are any type of law official, law officers like police or whatever, who may be escorting the bus. But that's that makes me think that that's their new tactic now, is to go ahead and intimidate to get what they want. Now, I can't exactly state what Irene Bion or Bion's, I just don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry. I cannot say what her intentions were. I can only speculate, so this is all my opinion, as we state in each of our videos. But why? Knowing what she's supposed to know as a higher up, why would she instruct a freelance journalist to follow the jury bus? Unless there was some reason to do so. That gets my blood boiling. Here we are trying to have a jury do a fair verdict, trial, whatever. And we have people who are sending other people to follow them. If that isn't intimidation, I don't know what is. That is intimidation to the nth degree. When you look at this, you look at the fact that he was just following orders. And as a journalist, he should know better. He should have even said, wait, I can't do that. Can't, feign ignorance when it's your job. He should have told someone, hey, look, this person just told me to follow this bus. He should have done the right thing. Now, a spokesperson, I'm going to explain. A spokesperson for NBC also got into it, and I'm going to quote what they stated. While the traffic violation took place near the jury van, the freelancer never contacted or intended to contact the jurors during deliberations, and never photographed or intended to photograph them. Okay, NBC spokesperson. Let that may be the case. Why are one of your employees, a booking producer, asking this freelancer to follow the jury bus then? Is this a case of the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing? Because if that's the case, NBC needs to really find out what's going on within its own walls of people who are breaking law. If this is all about NBC not knowing what's going on in its own newsrooms, NBC needs to get itself cleaned up. NBC definitely needs to get itself cleaned up if you don't know what's going on and what people are asking other people to do. We got to take NBC's word for it. I can say my opinion that it's intimidation, but if NBC, if the spokesperson is telling the truth that, the freelancer didn't contact or any of that, did you know what Irene asked this freelancer to do? Because if you didn't, you need to fix some stuff going on in your company, NBC. I don't care how long you've been around. As a news company that's been around that long, you should be able to keep control of it, or has NBC gotten so big, it can't take care of itself anymore. It has become a company so big that it doesn't know what's going on within its ranks. And that's even worse. I think that's worse than NBC deciding, let's intimidate these jurors. Because if it's the people at the top don't know what's going on with the underlings underneath, that means you got too big. Maybe it's time NBC got cut up into smaller pieces. And yes, I believe in freedom of the press and everything else. Don't get me wrong. But when the press is going to do stuff that you're not supposed to do, they forfeit their ability to be the press. And I'm glad Judge Schroeder made sure they could not be back in the courtroom after this. So get it together, NBC. For any other news stations, major news networks who might be thinking about doing this, and yes, I'm even talking to One America News and Fox News as well, do the right thing. Don't be following jury buses. Because the first thing that's going to pop into my mind and other people's minds is you're trying to intimidate the jurors to do what you want them to do. I am, once again, the younger brother, Brian. And I am definitely trying to explain what freedom is and showing you what it is and what it ought to be in this video. And freedom is not journalists going after jury buses when they're not supposed to. There's etiquette. Thank you once again for joining the Brothers of Liberty. I am the younger brother, Brian. We are here reminding you what freedom is and ought to be.